Hi, this is Ken. Recently, I enrolled in online card classes for a new tutorial series called So Very Merry by Jennifer McGuire and Christina Warner. I posted this card to the Facebook group and there are requests for a video to see how I created it. I suspect people were more interested in figuring out the card's pop-up and interactive elements. Let me start by saying that I'm a member of the Karen Burniston design team. If you don't know Karen Burniston, she designed dies featuring all sorts of pop-ups and related add-ons. I take great pleasure in combining Karen's different pop-up mechanisms and repurposing them to use in creative new ways. This card features two separate mechanisms. One is pushing up the Christmas tree when you open the card, and the other is spinning the snowflakes. While filming this video, I realized that it is beyond me to explain the details of installing the mechanisms, especially these two, probably two of the more complicated ones. So though I will try, I highly recommend you find the link in the description to Karen's tutorials, where she explains everything brilliantly. In this context, I will first show you how the mechanisms look undecorated so you can see them in action. Again, I recommend heading over to Karen's tutorials. Feel free to skip the second half of this video where I try to explain the mechanisms. The two pop-ups used are the Parcel Pop-up and the Spinner Square Pop-up. Here is an undecorated version next to the finished card. The two mechanisms are more clearly visible. Notice their movements. There are many ways to use these pop-ups. You can even turn them in different directions. Again, the pop-up moving the tree up and down is the Parcel Pop-up, and the spinning snowflakes utilize the Spinner Square Pop-up. I used a 5 3/4 by 5 3/4 card. Here I will explain the pop-ups beginning with the Parcel Pop-up. Feel free to skip all this. I feel embarrassed even trying to explain this. I hope it doesn't sound like complete gibberish. Anyway, with the Parcel Pop-up, you need these three pieces of the die to create the mechanism. One thing to remember that I've learned is to double cut the big square, the big piece, and cut out the little notch area where you double it so it has more strength. For the piece that goes behind it, here I'm going to draw where we fold, where the fold lines are, and the top part gets glued. This is all double up for strength. So the bottom stays open because we need it to attach to the bigger square back there. But the top part where the notches are gets glued together. And then you fold it accordion style, and then we will insert it through the hole of where we doubled up the notched hole. Here I will draw the fold lines as well. There are quite a couple. Notice this one at the bottom, the little one. That one will flip up to attach to the long unglued strip. This is so hard to explain. Anyway, you insert the notches into the hole, which might take you some time, but it is all doubled up for strength. So this little piece folds up, and the unglued piece folds down now to attach to the little nub. You can see it all folds accordion style. And by folding, collapsing it this way, the little nub, the little tab will fit into this unglued strip. Now you want to glue it together so every time the mechanism opens, that strip moves up and down. Make sure it's glued tightly. And there's one more fold that you need to fold, which is right by the bottom tab, where the line is right there. You need to fold that backwards, and that is the place where you attach to the card first. So now you can see the mechanism. Every time the bottom moves, the top also goes up and down, but there's one little strip you need to glue onto the strip. that's when it extends. It doesn't flip out like that. It'll stay within the confines of the box. So we're ready to glue that into the card. Make sure you collapse it. And I am marking with blue pencil where the glue should go. The bottom piece over here goes directly to the fold. Here's a glued in piece already. So it goes against the fold and it glues down. As it flips up, it will activate the pop-up. So after you glue it down, you glue the two sides up, where I also mark the blue mark, and it will, you should watch Karen's tutorial. This is the spinner square, where I will mark the fold lines. There are even more fold lines here. These are all fold lines, and with the blue pencil, I will mark where there's going to be glue. This is one tough pop-up to explain. Anyway, what I do first is I fold this one where the two diagonal lines are. You fold it in half, and then you work the folds of the two diagonal back and forth. This is what makes the spinner square spin, is this part. So after you unfold it, you work it back and forth a little bit to make sure it gets into the fold, the V fold as we called it. And there is a place right there where you see the blue mark. It folds down, and it's just that little triangle where it tapes, where it glues together. While that's being glued, we fold all the other little folds. What happens is it forms a box up top that is the same distance as the bottom. It's just a little higher. It's a little platform that's higher. So now we fold the spinner part where we just glued the little triangle together. You fold it backwards, and it will, because it has one loose slit in the square, it will fold like this. And every time you extend the piece that will be glued down, you can see the square spin. This part. So every time you pull it in and out, the square will spin. What I did for the card was to put two strips formed in the shape of an X on top of it, so it extends out longer for the snowflakes. Usually this mechanism is glued sideways vertically on the card, but I chose to attach it directly to the Parcel Pop-up, and it will still spin by activating the Parcel Pop-up. So I glued the ends, the little platform box, and the other small box. It goes against the platform, the parcel edge. So make sure that's glued tightly, and then you lift up and you'll see there's two more blue marks for the glue. One is on a very little edge. So there we go. You make sure it's in the collapsed position where it's folded in like that. And then there's another nub that I mentioned, the little one down there. So after you put glue on it and you fold it, the card shut, when you open it, make sure the little one is glued on tightly. So you open it slowly, and maybe use one finger to hold on to the little nub, so it's tightly in there like this. just hold on to it as it opens the first time, and it slowly rotates for the first time to work its movement, like that. So make sure it's glued, and now it spins, and the upper one lifts up and down. That's how the two mechanisms come together and form the basis to the card. The rest is all decorating. This is where I mentioned I placed two strips in an X form so the snowflakes can extend further from the square. It's like a helicopter. But that really gives more movement to more places that you can attach things. So make sure you get the Parcel Pop-up and the Spinner Square Pop-up. And here's one more look at the finished product. Looks quite different from the undecorated version. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you skipped this part.